Yo, 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 it's GeekCypha. David replacing the intro host for Brian as our beloved Brian Doc Holiday is, I won't say what he's celebrating, but he's celebrating. Someone's treating him. And we have taken note of how many days he's done consecutively. So, Brian, you've earned it. Enjoy it. Have fun with
Exactly.
it. Take your flowers. And then speaking of flowers or potential killing of flowers, do you want to get into some wrestling talk there, buddy?
Yeah,
Before we
sure.
start talking, because I don't, unless you have anything news related, because I've been itching to talk about this, but last week was very packed.
News wise, I don't think I really have anything. I know there's a few trailers that came out, but I think it was Head of State with John Cena and Idris Elba. John Cena
Ooh,
plays
that
the
actually looks
president.
really good. Good.
John Cena plays the president of the United States. He seems like he's a movie actor kind of thing, and then Idris Elba is like the prime minister of England,
Yeah.
and seems like he might have some training. I'm not sure if he's like an actual soldier or he's just a guy that like just likes to work out a lot or whatever. But he seems very competent at his job.
Exactly. Well, my suspicion of that is in order to make it the perfect odd couple. Basically, Cena is doing what Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to do in real life, but he couldn't. Basically, just because he's not American. I think Schwarzenegger could easily become president if he wanted to.
Yeah, but even he knows, he's like, I wasn't born here. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I have too much respect. No.
And Idris, I feel it's going to be like either he was in military before he became prime minister, or he's going to be like, as prime minister, I was taught all this stuff. What did you do? And he's like, well, he asked me if I was in movies, and that's why I have bodyguards. Like,
well,
it's funny. Like that's going to be that reaction.
Because he basically says, well, people just say I look cool with guns. So like John Cena's character's like, I look cool with guns. And so it seems like what happens is they get compromised on Air Force One. It goes down. They get blown out of the fuselage, and then they have to kind of survive their way as they make it to a safe house and then make it out of
whichever
Eastern European, maybe, sort of, kind of.
You want to say we don't want to name names, but they're
exactly.
in that part. They're in that part.
And it seems like Idris Elba is like, of the two of them, he knows how to fight, he knows how to handle himself, and John Cena is just straight up Hollywood actor, super Hollywood, doesn't really know how to fight, but it seems like he kind of falls into certain situations where it just works in his favor, where he gets knocked out and he stops a guy by like closing the dude's hand in a door. The door of a car and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's like fumbling around. Although I do feel there's going to be definitely moments in the movie where he's going to do things and Idris Elba's going to be like, what the hell? He's like, oh, I did this. It's no different than the scene in, Rambo 8 or whatever movie he's going to reference that he made.
Yeah.
This made up universe. But no, that definitely does look very interesting. I'm wondering, is there any other?
Yes. I could keep tying it into into your topic that you want to get into. The new movie with The Rock came. Was it Punching Machine? What was it called again?
Slamming Machine body. No.
I found it. Smashing Machine. The Smashing Machine.
Yeah.
So basically, he plays this guy named Mike Kerr. Is it Mike Kerr or not a UFC fighter, but before the time of UFC. So he was fighting in Pride. So Pride is like a fighting promotion in Japan where they actually fight each other.
Yeah, it's much more brutal than actual UFC.
Yeah. And so this is like probably the 90s or late 80s, early 90s about. And he plays this real life person. His story maybe towards the tail end of his career. And Emily Blunt is in it, and I think a bunch of UFC people are also in it as well. And I think it's like some big ticket fight that's happening in probably Japan or something like that. So it looks like a big Oscar push. I was telling the guys it's giving me a lot of Iron Claw vibes, which is like to say that, oh, this is going to be very depressing. This is not going to be a positive. Like, oh, this felt good, and he had a long, healthy career, and he was able to train other people. It's like, nope, something's gonna happen, and tragically, this sounds like a wrestling trilogy, a wrestling, like just depressing wrestling trilogy of the Foxcatcher, Iron Claw, and I think this would be the third one. I was gonna say the wrestler, but Foxcatcher is about which family?
I was gonna say the wrestler, but Foxcatcher is about which family? Is it?
Well, I found it. I found it. Smashing Machine. The Smashing Machine. So basically, he plays this guy named Mike Kerr. Is it Mike Kerr or Fox Catcher was about an actual amateur wrestler. I think he was for the USA in Greco-Roman wrestling in
Okay.
the Olympics. And Steve Carell played like the trainer or the person that was putting up the money of the DuPont
Okay.
family, and Channing Tatum plays the guy that ends up.
Right.
Spoiler
No.
for
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking more of like true story, true life people, because I
Yeah.
know the wrestler's sort of based.
Well, it's funny.
You can argue that it's sort of based on Jake the Snake a
Yes.
bit, but that's still more of a fictional story. But I'm talking about like these are like biographies or biopics of specific
and it's funny
people.
because now they have, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm trying to find her name. Give me 2 seconds.
Mhm.
Emily Bett Rickards, who was Facility Smoke on Arrow.
Okay.
She's actually making, I believe it's supposed to be a movie, but it's kind of like a biopic type thing of like the first female wrestlers.
Oh wait, that came out not too long ago.
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if that came out. So it's called Queen of the Ring. That's the name of the movie, and I'm just trying to see when it comes out. So Queen of the Ring came out. Oh, it's 2024. So it did come out. So that's one. It's just funny
Either
how,
it did come out or it was screening. I remember seeing ads for it screening.
Yeah, and I saw commercials for it. I'm like, this is. I love the girl the woman you chose. I shouldn't say girl. She's a woman that they chose for. I'm like, I always thought she was a bit underrated. Like when people are like, she's just Facility from Arrow. I'm like, I feel she has more. But it's just funny how, we're growing up now, and now that when we're in our 40s, now they're like, yeah, we should do wrestling bio. Like so now that comic book movies are starting to fizzle a little bit, let's put in the wrestling movies now.
Yeah,
you also put in because isn't there like also Evolve, or there was a female wrestling show as well, and
Glow.
It was Glow, and then the guy who plays Arrow, he also made another one, which I can't remember the name of at the moment.
Oh, right. I forgot the name of that one, but yeah, it was like about an indie wrestling promo, and a few people showed up in that.
Yeah, and CM Punk, who will be speaking about in a few moments, he was in it, and apparently he also did a great job. I'm trying to see if I can get a name of
Amell.
Stephen
the
Amell,
guy that played Arrow was
Heels. It's Heels. Yeah. That's the name of it. I was like, I know it's something based. But as we were talking about wrestling, I love the segue. I will put a sidebar if you do want to see a good trailer, though. Watch the trailer for the newest trailer of the newest installment of Ghost of Tsushima. I forget it's Ghost of something else now. But you should. Because there's a new trailer that came out, and if you weren't sold from if you weren't sold by the original trailer, this is like it's gonna kick you out of your shoes. So
jeez, I didn't know a new trailer came out for that already.
Yeah, my friend was telling me so much about it, and he showed me. We were in a restaurant. He was just showing me some song. Like, oh man, like just what I saw. I'm like, dang, dang, that looks really good. But no, back to the wrestling talk. So we're not going to necessarily go crazy on WrestleMania. What I'll say quickly on my quick opinion about WrestleMania was, it was just very obvious that you had, you had the A matches on Sunday and the B matches on Saturday. I'm not shortchanging anyone who had matches on the Saturday, but I'm saying like when you are like Cody versus Cena versus Gunther versus Jey Uso, you're like, the bigger match is Cody, right? You had the triple threat for the women's title versus Charlotte Flair and Tiffany, and they kind of wet the bed a little bit right before. Like they fumbled a little bit in the preparation of that match, whatever. Okay. And like you went back and forth like that. You know, even like the main events of each night. One was Cody versus Cena, and the other one's like CM Punk, Reigns, and Seth for no title, which is not to say that wasn't a good match. It was actually a great match, but
a lot of triple threats.
Yeah, a lot of triple threats.
I didn't know that was a new thing now at WrestleMania, where it's just triple threat.
Well, I noticed this year, because I find they usually will have like a ladders match potentially or something in this WrestleMania. They had no ladder matches. Right. They didn't have like a big Money in the Bank type style, because they usually have one of those, right? Like just a
Right.
big,
Someone's
like,
gonna get screwed over. Someone's gonna
yeah,
call it in,
yeah, or
and
you're
then
gonna have your cage match. You're gonna have that more gimmicky match, because I think they'd have some gimmicky matches this one, but it was more still within like a triple threat is within wrestling. A cage match is, people say that's gimmicky or whatever. But my comment for WrestleMania will be that night, regardless of the setup, which I wasn't happy that it was set up that way. What I found weird was like night one was the opposite of night two, in the sense that night one, I don't know what it was. They had like a bad start, I find. Like the crowd I thought was really low in the first one, and some of the matches didn't deliver as much, except for you got to the end and the last match, which is CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. That blew off the roof. I did call the ending of that match. I wasn't. I think people were surprised. But I think because I don't. So in that match, the whole thing was Roman Reigns didn't have Paul Heyman in his corner. He was in CM Punk's corner because in story there was like a favor that was owed, and that was the favor. And then a favor was owed to Seth Rollins, and you're like, well, ultimately Seth Rollins is going to use Heyman to screw both of you over and join him. Like, that's pretty obvious, and it certainly down, but whatever. Then the second day, it was like every match back to back, it felt quick, like, because the first night, because they weren't so good, it felt long, and the second night your matches were so good that you felt like you got to the end and you're like, whoa, how are we already at the last match already? This is great. And then it reminded me of the show Lost. So Lost was really good for like the first 4 seasons.
Right.
And then there was a season of like, But and then you got to the season of like, oh, there's something cool going on. It could be all these other outcomes, and you chose the one outcome that was like not the answer.
Which was, from what I understood, I never really got into Lost, but I had a lot of friends that were like all into it and going online and reading everything. But from what I've read and heard and seen on YouTube, or people talking about it, is that the creators kind of didn't know where they were going, and when it got popular, it was one of the first shows where they actually looked at what. No, that's not true. It's one of the first shows where they looked at what the people on the internet were saying, and then purposely did the opposite of what people were guessing they were going to do. So if people are on the right trail of what they were going to do, then they would be like, okay, no, don't do that. And it's like, but why? Like, I get you want to keep it crazy and we put one past you, but it's just like, it doesn't make for a good story at that point,
Yeah, well, that's basically it. So in the build-up, so I'll explain. The build-up to this match was pretty damn epic, I thought.
Okay.
I'm like, you go to Elimination Chamber, you have Elimination Chamber happen. John Cena turns heel. He's clearly in line with The Rock. It really feels like, him and The Rock are going to be there at WrestleMania
for sure,
and ruin, take the championship away from Cody. You had, what's the name of the Travis Scott, who.
Oh, so you're talking about the second night now?
Like, no, I'm talking about like the first, like when their first interaction, the only thing.
Right. Okay. You're talking about the interaction to lead up.
No, it's all right. For Elimination Chamber, the only thing I felt out of place was a bit Travis Scott. Not that you want to use a celebrity in this, cool, but like you didn't introduce him or anything. He just came out,
shows up.
It was weird, It's
but I guess he's sort of been around for a little while.
Well, let me put it this way: if it was Bad Bunny, it'd make more sense because Bad Bunny's been here.
Yeah, he's had matches.
God, he's like, he's back. Oh, he's gonna do another match. Oh, like there would be a certain level of like, cool. Yeah. The only thing that Travis Scott really had is I think he made the intro for Raw, if I'm not mistaken, the latest one, and he's been like in the crowd and stuff. Yeah, and he came down with Jey Uso one time to the ring, whatever. But so then you fast forward to Mania, where you're like, okay, like for sure The Rock's gonna be there, and something's gonna happen. It's gonna be a distraction. There's gonna be a MacGuffin or whatever, or MacGuffin that's gonna happen, and Cody's gonna lose because of that. No Rock shows up. I think the match was relatively solid up until the point I'm about to describe. Then Travis Scott comes out, and he's the one who costs Cody ultimately the title. Right? And you're sitting there as a fan, you're like, nah. Like, legendary GOAT, or soon to be GOAT in 2 seconds because he's going to pass Ric Flair and win the title and blah, 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 versus who's the future GOAT whose dad was a GOAT, being Cody Rhodes. Like, Cody Rhodes is not like him or not like him, because I do know some people who are still not a fan of like his shtick. But you can't say that he's not like a major player. You're not using someone who's. It's like
he's etched his own story in wrestling history. Like
exactly.
he left the company, went to Japan, went to the indie circuit, started his own wrestling company and kind of surpassed TNA kind of thing. Like
AEW.
No. I'm saying like technically
AEW?
it's supposed to be WWE, and then you would have TNA / Impact Wrestling. But then no one's really paying attention to TNA Impact Wrestling, and then he just makes AEW, and then that's already like
I would
the competition.
Almost off a jump, and that's not an insult to TNA. I do like TNA a lot, but I would agree. Like the second they were in, so you have Cody up there, who is, trying to do his thing, and Cena and him are fighting, and then you have Travis Scott out of effing nowhere, comes out and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Cody's attention." I think he ultimately, if I remember, because it's so bad I can't remember exactly what he did, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he low blowed him or allowed a low blow to occur, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then Cena wins, and you're like, lamest. Like, are we back in the early 90s, where this is the first time this happened? Because that's the only, which is like, it's so underwhelming.
I know Cody did get the crossroads on Travis Scott.
Yeah, like
and some people consider that, he got him with the receipt, and it's like, and like, because Travis Scott punched Cody Rhodes in the ear and he blew out his eardrum. But also, I kind of feel like Cody was like, hit me as hard as possible, like to sell it. Like, wrestlers are like, yo,
don't be shy.
Don't be shy. And it just so happened he hit him in the ear and blew out. So I don't think that was super intentional, and I don't think like, at least that's how I would see it. Like, you're bringing in a civilian and you want him to kind of look a little strong, and then you get injured again in the ring.
And with that being said, because you got it nailed on the head. What's up, Skinny? The thing I really want to talk is about the aftermath, which is what was leading to this. Like, in my mind, I feel like people in a lot of avenues didn't know where to go after this, and at the same time, like, how can I say it? Like, it was, I don't want to say it was a waste finish, but it was like, that's the definition of a missed opportunity. And what's worse is that The Rock, a day or two later, or so the next day, went on a talk show and said, "Oh, I want to give the attention to the boys in the ring." And I'm like, yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
What I think a lot of people thought was going to happen, because before, when The Rock came out, I think it was the last WrestleMania, and Cody got the belt, and The Rock came out and everything, and then it was Undertaker that stopped The Rock and everything. Yeah. So for that weekend, for the Hall of Fame, they inducted the Iron Man match, or the I Quit match between Bret Hart and Bret Hart and Stone Cold. That was the match that made Stone Cold. So they're talking it up and everything, and then that match gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. Bret and Stone Cold is there. Stone Cold comes out, rides an ATV around the ring in hilarious fashion, all those memes and everything like that. And so you would think The Rock would come out, screw up with the match, glass hits. But I mean, I don't think Stone Cold's going to come out and run. I don't think he wants to come. I mean, I don't think he's good. But you would think he would come out and then stunner, and then something like that would happen. But and I think the only reason it wasn't Stone Cold before, because Stone Cold said, "No, I'm not coming out. I'm chilling where I am. I'm not going to do it." And then they call an audible, and then they're like, "Undertaker, can you do it for us?" And it was only Undertaker and his wife knew. And then he disappeared from his suite, and he was just rushing down there to get into position to come out. And that's why he wasn't even in gear or anything. It was just like last minute, come out Undertaker,
But still, I feel, and Skinny, I think you watched the WrestleMania. What's your thought on the concept of the Rock of the No Show and the aftermath of that? I think it's lame.
It wasn't a good finish at all, no. But it also wouldn't have given, like, there would have had to be something to do with The Rock and Cena and Travis Scott, and then the Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker thing wouldn't have made any kind of real impact, because then you have 2-3 faction feuds on one show, essentially. Like Cody, it would have been on SmackDown, but you know how everybody interchanges anyway, so it's it would have diluted that whole thing. So yeah, he should have at least showed up. I agree, but that also just further proves that he was really just trying to promote, as he says, he was trying to get Elimination Chamber to be bigger because it wasn't doing well in ticket sales. However, I also feel like he just dropped the ball and didn't have anything to go with it, and wrestling changes all the time. So maybe even Triple H was like, no, we're gonna go with what I originally wanted to do, and your story is stupid. I don't want Travis Scott here running around. We already have Logan Paul to deal with. I don't really want to deal with.
We're already babysitting Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you say that, but Logan Paul, he's at least, I hate to say it, but he became a student of the game pretty quick.
No, he can wrestle, yeah, but he's still hated, and he's still.
I know. He still runs his.
Still Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I was hearing from friend of the show, Proto Man, that on his podcast or show he had Hulk Hogan on, and they were talking, and then Hogan says, "So was it a shoot or a work?" And Logan Paul was like, "What are you talking? I don't understand what that term means." And he looked, and then some apparently, like as if it was a TV show, as if it was a sitcom. Hulk Hogan knows where his hard camera is, looks into the hard camera, and it's like, "Are you?" It's like he has that face of, "Are you seriously kidding me?" This guy he's working, and he doesn't understand what those terms mean.
I mean, he does and doesn't have to. He needs to go out there, piss off the crowd by just existing and pulling off his finishing move without killing somebody. And so far, he's done that.
I think something I've always
put
said
it this way:
they need more good heels.
Logan Paul himself is a work. His existence is a work. He to explain shoot or work with, it would destroy his brain, because then he'd be like, "Wait, my entire life is kayfabe. Nothing is real."
True. It's not. You're not wrong.
Yeah, nothing's real. Ever since, just no. Come on, this guy had kids storming his house, and they'd be like, "It's the party." Stop it. Stop.
But sidebar about Hogan for like 2 seconds. I don't know if you. Hogan and Eric Bischoff.
Oh yeah.
Recently released some weird ass video.
They're starting a new pod or something. Probably.
That's like. It's them doing this NWO bullshit.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got a third man. You're like, you're both super old. I have no idea what the fuck.
I almost didn't realize it was Eric Bischoff. I was like, I don't know who that guy in the background.
And then the third man ultimately comes. I don't want to bash his name, so hold on.
Who's the third man? It's not somebody I know.
It's probably somebody we don't know, because Dane has to look him up.
Is he something? Hold on.
Is he what?
Hold on. He's something to do with like 1 second. 9-time state champion, coach of USC champions, blah 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 blah.
Sounds like a podcast.
Izzy Martinez of Izzy Style Wrestling. So I don't know who this person is. I'm gonna try and research him now quickly, but they're like, we're gonna take over, and they're like, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, take over what? Like, you haven't said what you are doing. You're just saying you three are together, which I'm like, what?
Better not be a podcast, because no.
It seems like Izzy is, he's just an actual like NCAA wrestler. No, wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me.
It says him and them are
Israel Martinez, one of the most accomplished wrestling coaches in the United States with a career spanning over 2 decades. So he's like UFC, amateur wrestling kind of thing.
They're going to make a freestyle wrestling league, which I have no idea what that means.
It's actual wrestling on the mat.
Yeah.
That's what that's going to be. Mm-hmm. Actual mat wrestling with holds, and oh my goodness, look at this arm bar. Like, fuck out of here, dude.
It's going to be lame.
Where a drop toe hold could be a finisher.
Where, what was it? Or like Brett's dad's like, oh, they're just gonna make a stretching league.
All the moves you didn't want to put on your wrestler in creative wrestler games, like the snap air, is gonna be bare that shit. Like nothing but snap air. Is it freaking like all the annoying shit that you don't want to do? Oh man, an arm bar. I don't want that. Not a leg lock. Not a single leg Boston crab.
Yeah.
I don't want one of those.
Us as kids did not care about. Us as kids did not care about the longevity of our wrestlers. That was even a thing.
No, power bomb or nothing. Power bomb or nothing. In No Mercy. That's all. Wait, it's not some sort of breaker or neck breaker or some sort of forget it. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. Wasn't a double power twist something?
But back to like some of the fallout of Mania.
Man.
I do want to say something about Mania. I did get to see the second Sunday matches.
Any match you want.
And the Eno Sky match, the three-way, that was a really good match. That was fun to watch.
That was a very credible match.
That was insane, and just so much flying, and just the two other girls, just like the girl was I forgot her name, where she had her weave and she used it as a whip.
Bianca Belair.
Just whoosh, and you heard it like that was good job.
That'd be something she does. Brutal. Can you do that in the video game? I wonder.
No. Not in 2K24. I don't own 25 because I skipped the year, so I don't know.
Even years only.
Even years only. Actually, like the last game I bought was
followed rule.
Well, the last game I bought before 2K24 was bought for me. And I have everything updated to the current roster, so I don't need new stuff. Including TNA and AEW this year. Was the last game I had was 2K19, and that's the best game. That has everything you need in terms of you have it has tie-ups. It has what's that thing where they kind of go from like one move and then they roll around and like they twist. You know what I'm talking. It's like kind of
reversals.
Yeah, the reversal, not reversals, but it's like kind of like shoot and like catch wrestling where they're like.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking. Well, they'll go from like one group and then someone will spin around and grab them from the back, and then
they do it's the counter like montage.
Exactly, they do the whole counter montage. But there's a
term for it, but I know what you're
right.
talking about.
So they had those in 2K19. They had promos in Universe mode where the person would call other people out and they would come out and like it would be like a full storyline, like 12 weeks. Like it would feel intense. But the thing that was missing, that updated roster, obviously, and graphics weren't there. So then you get to 2K24 and all that stuff's gone. Oh no! Like all the good stuff's gone, and you're like, "What? Why'd you do that?" Like even little things like characters having randomized attire, so you could have multiple attires, but then you could randomize it, so then you don't know which is going to come out, and it adds like a little extra spice, even in the game itself. So created teams, they would usually color coordinate. You wouldn't have to tell the AI to do it; they would just do it. So if you have like a yellow set for Undisputed Era, all three members are coming out in their yellow set. And that was boss. You're like, okay, you're thinking. Good job, game. 2K24, random doesn't even work. Okay. So they brought back
they also had belt limitations, I think.
They had belt limitations. So now 2K24, and now you have your double belts and you can defend both and it shows it cool. But then they took away random attires. They took away it's called chain wrestling. They took away the chain wrestling and they just put it back in 2K25.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see what they're gonna do for 2K26. And you know what I mean, maybe they'll bring back some things that I like because I
have not invested in a wrestling game in a really long time, only because I always felt like by the time, so I'm very picky with my like once I got because I'm not just a guy who I don't just make the skins, right? Like if I make a character, my goal is to go through like every if they have 1,000 moves you have to assign, I assigned
every move.
I hate having characters that have like. If you press this direction and this direction, you do the same thing.
Same move, yeah.
No one would do that. You might never use that move, but no one will do that. No one does that in real life.
I used to do that.
So by the time my game would be ready,
engine.
It'd be like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Just like you're grinding. And that's when I had time. Like I have no idea how it would be now.
These days I use community creations to cut that in about half, so maybe down to 3 months. Because first you gotta play showcase mode and get all the unlockables if you don't want to just pay for the booster pack of like whatever, or the season pass, which some years I just do it. And then this year, so last year in 2K19, I had just downloaded the full, or as much as I wanted to, the full AEW roster, and I put them in the game. But of course, you couldn't have the belts. There wasn't double intelligence. Whatever. This year, okay. This year I have AEW, not all of their belts. I cut out what's that one that Okada has? That's not the international, but they're gonna try and unite it with to make. Sorry, I don't have the continental belt in mind, and I have the international belt, but they're gonna unify those to make it their intercontinental, but they can't legally.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that because, truth be told,
no one knows what they're gonna do.
For AEW.
Kenny's supposed to face Okada, but how? What?
Yeah, but like I don't know how smart that would be because I think they do need a certain amount of belts. But I think the problem with AEW is that they have the right amount of belts, but they're not using them properly. Like Okada hasn't defended that belt at all enough.
Kind of like in my actual game right now, he doesn't.
Because like the thing about that belt is they have an annual tournament
for it, yeah.
And the person who has the belt at the time is forced to be in the tournament. He's not like put to the
he could just lose it. Yeah, he could lose it
along the way, which I think is really cool.
I think that's super dope. Yeah, you could just fuck up, get drunk, and be like, "Wait, what? I got pinned."
But their TV title,
TBS? No, not TBS. TNT.
Well, TBS is the women's version, and the
TNT
one.
Who has that now?
Adam Cole has it, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing I don't like about it is that, like, example, the reason I don't like the belt. Yeah. It's never defended on Dynamite, whereas it's always defended on their Collision show. I'm like, so it's never I've never seen it defended on Dynamite, at least for the last while.
Right.
It's always been defended there, and that's why I don't like their shows are like some people I don't see. I'm like, aren't these people on the roster? And then my friends are like, oh, you don't watch Collision? I'm like, no, like all of them are on Collision. Like.
So it's like a completely split roster.
Like, you are not WWE. You should not be doing this.
Yeah, your roster's super. I mean, I guess no.
Like you're expanding too quickly. You have to learn. You have to finesse things before you. But anyway,
right.
But speaking of finessing, someone who I think is tired and it's showing a lot and is not showing finesse in his approach, and I'm not shitting on him because I do think he deserves it. Jey Uso needs to get it. EpiPen to the ass or something like that, or a kick in the ass, because he has been so since Mania, he just seems deflated or tired. Because he used to come out with like an energy, like he'd be running around the ring and all this stuff. Him packing on a little bit of weight, I'm like, no, that's muscle. That's cool. That I don't mind. But now it's like he won't even do the
eating because that gasses him. You understand when after he does that for 30 minutes? Yeah, dude, that took 100% gas.
No, I agree not doing it the whole time. But I'm saying, like, if I want the crowd to go, I should be doing like once, twice, let everyone do it. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
And he's doing like he's not even dancing. Like I saw him on Monday and he's just like for people who can't see, I'm just like moving my shoulder back and forth. He's like
little jab.
Shuffle.
You're doing almost like a weaker rock away.
Exactly.
Like just a not even a full on like Fat Joe. Put the whole shoulder back, but like you're just like nudge.
No, we'll call it the not away. He's not. And the thing that sucks is I think he deserves the title and whatnot, but like. I don't know, his promos and his appearance and his like general vibes since WrestleMania and including WrestleMania. I thought it was nerves. I'm like, you're gonna get the title. This is like a big thing. You guys were like, you and your brother are probably hoping one of you would.
You and your cousin got the title that weekend.
Like they're like
that's insane.
Like there's a lot of pressure. I've been here before. I've lost all the times. They're finally giving me the ball. Like the first day I could understand, but like I'll put it this way. The reason why I say this vibe on both Mondays, it almost looked like he wasn't happy. Because
he probably isn't happy that he's beefing with Logan Paul.
Oh, no, that's perfect.
Think about this. You just beat freaking
You've been there for how many years? 15 years,
bro.
You've been there 15 years. You just beat Gunther for the title, and your first feud is the nigga that beat AJ Styles.
Okay, so
what? Why aren't you feuding with AJ Styles?
No, not that.
Why are you putting down AJ Styles? Like
no, because it's the fact I'm not putting down AJ Styles.
It's a good thing.
Yes,
puts him up.
Yes, it does put him up. But I want to feud with AJ Styles while he's still here.
Oh yeah,
Don't give me
100%.
the young boy. I don't need
give me
to
the guy that paid his way in.
give me
You know?
AJ Styles so it makes me look good. I'm the champ.
You putting the
Me.
jab against the rich kid that bought his way in.
Thank you. Give me listen.
Speaking
You
of
got
buying
The
his
prime,
job,
the prime drink thing is like upright the whole time in the second
did
the
you hear
second
what-
part of
did you hear what-
WrestleMania. No one smashed into it, didn't
Yeah.
get toppled over.
You
They
know what
destroyed the normal announcement table. Not the Latino
Not even
announcement table.
Latino
The
got it.
normal announcement
Not even
table.
Spanish announce table. Go on, dude.
Not the
No, but
Spanish announcement, the
It's 'cause you're
normal
mentioning
one.
Prime, and because Jawz was talking about him earlier. Fun fact: Stone Cold was offered $1 million to be in the Prime bottle suit, and he turned it down.
Good,
Yeah,
So,
good.
so first and foremost, I'm gonna give
What if we
shout
give that? What if we give that to my cat Poncho?
Here's the thing. I'll give credit to my first credit to Steve Austin is that not just that he didn't do it, but his response was, "Oh, I don't know what's in this product. I sell beer. I don't know what's in this product, and I don't know. So it's his thing. It's not my thing. So congratulations on you being like super smart and political about this." And Logan Paul, I first of all, I'll say this. I will say that I think Logan Paul is entertaining and all that stuff. I'm not saying he's bad or whatever, but how dare you go to Stone Cold Steve Austin and think that he's going to go into a mascot costume at the age of 50 and it not even be beer? Like, what are you talking about?
That's a weird brand transition.
That's a weird
Little
thing
strange.
for you to ask. Like, that's an olive branch that, like, I
wasted
hope
it.
the actual interaction was Stone Cold looking at him like, no. Like, no. Like,
That's a weird.
And let's be honest, for $1 million for Stone Cold, that's even a pay cut. So, like, fuck you, bro.
I took my
Don't
ball
you
and went
just
home.
sit
That's
up
what I
there,
did.
you know?
It's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm hoping that Jey Uso just gets a kick in his step because
Give
like
him a better feud and he'll be fine. Watch.
Oh,
Give him a better because he's gonna have to turn heel eventually. There's too
No, but
many
what-
faces on the damn show.
Again,
Bro, the main heels right
And-
now are Paul Heyman, which makes no sense. Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. Then the other heels are
we have more than
Chad
that.
Gable, who's literally doubling as another guy who's feuding with all the luchadors.
And
Then
technically his whole group.
his whole group, which consists of 3 other people who aren't really doing anything. They might as well be on main event. The New Day are heels, but like again, they're feuding with the War Raiders, which might as well be on main event. What else we got? Logan Paul, who just beat AJ Styles, who might as well be on main event because, like, give him Karrion Kross. That's what I want. You want Logan Paul to go the hell over? Give him Karrion Kross so that Karrion Kross is, even being that he's a heel and badass, him beating Logan Paul would put him over like skyrocket LA Knight style. Just come on. You have mid-carders, put him with the mid-carders, give Jey Uso AJ Styles so he can say, hey, I wrestled AJ Styles before he got out and got too old. And it's just up. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
But I also found that there was some laziness. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was saying the women are killing it on Raw right now. That's kind of why I watch Raw.
With the exception of, I will say this, I don't like that they took Bayley out of the match just to put Becky in it. Although I appreciate the concept that at WrestleMania you want to do like a double, like that's
weird
Irish
stuff.
team.
Yeah,
but to then make her turn the next day and them to lose the titles the next day.
Yeah, that's weird. And I feel like Bayley's on her way out. That's why.
I don't. Well, I mean, I hope not, because everyone, from my understanding, with what I was reading, a lot of people like within the company were like, "Yo, like, what the fuck?" She's a big locker room leader.
Yeah,
apparently, like she's like Roman Reigns or CM Punk style, like leader. Like everyone, like even male wrestlers are writing on tweets or making comments about why did you do this to her type thing. Now again, Bayley has also had plenty of WrestleMania moments. She's had plenty, and this is more for Valkyria, I think is her name.
Valkyria, yeah.
So like, cool.
She's boring though. She's super boring though. So.
Oh yeah, I agree. I will say this. All due respect to her, she should
back to NXT with you.
She should have never won the Intercontinental title. Natty should have won that title.
Oh yeah, 100%. But where's Natty doing?
That's a whole other. I don't want to go that far in the past.
She would have made that a whole other thing. She would have made it a belt, but yeah, no.
And it's just, I just find it weird that I feel like you did the turn with Cena, you doing the turn with Becky, it's like, really? Like,
Becky makes sense.
Just
Becky makes
come
sense.
back mean right away. Don't come back face then. Like, you did the same thing.
Yeah, just like she did last year when she beat Bianca. That could be her thing. That could be her WrestleMania thing.
After WrestleMania, Becky always fucks someone.
Yeah, she already
over.
comes. She always shows up at WrestleMania, pretends to be a face, and then turns heel the next day. That could be her thing. Which would be hilarious because that's an amazing run. You just get a vacation every year. You go off for like 3 or 4 months, come back, and then make people love you and then leave.
I think something that was really funny with one of the matches on the second night was it Drew McIntyre and what was the other dude that he
Priest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fast forwarded that joint, man.
No, but there was a part where all of a sudden Drew had a phone in his hand.
Oh yeah, and he took a selfie. Yeah, he's very meta. Yeah.
And then he gave it to somebody else, and then like he's like, just bored at work. Dude's messed up on the floor. He's like, just bored at work.
Terrible. That's pretty good though.
It was so good. The follow up to that was really good. I was like,
he's leaned into his character in a nice way. They would lose. Yeah. It would be very bad if he was to leave. Drew McIntyre.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I would like for him to win in his home country. Just one day. Just give it to him. I mean,
he needs to cool off on the main belt, but he's going for the U.S. title now. So I mean, you know.
But just hearing the crowd just being so mad that he got screwed over by CM Punk, you moron! Just all oh, man. Having a whole country hate you.
He's
That's
now
good heelness.
He's now feuding with LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, but in a way to push Jacob Fatu to be more of a good guy. Which they went dumb fast with that. But
that's because I don't like that they instantly are like, oh, people are treating him as a good guy. That doesn't necessarily be the case. People can cheer the
heel.
You know,
yeah, but he's too like Jacob Fatu is too like naturally street scary for you to actually be like, oh, and he's a bad guy and I hate him. Like he's literally like, I'm come from a different cloth, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I love you. Like it's just you can't hate him.
Yeah, rip him apart.
Yeah, you're gonna like kill him. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like that dude it's that dude from prison that you kind of know, who you went to high school with, and you're kind of like, yeah, that's my buddy still. Like you just like you rep him. You're like, yeah, you know he's doing wrong.
He's still good.
Yeah, you know he's doing wrong, but because you guys played together as kids, you're like, yeah, love you, Javon. You're my boy.
Oh my god, that's the most stereotypical situation. That's you.
Gotta happen, dude. It happens sometimes.
Oh my gosh,
that's your boy. Jacob's our boy. LA Knight dwindling. Slowly.
No, I disagree.
I agree. He made up for himself with the top rope BFT. He made me like his move finally. I didn't like his move before that. So I just hope he gets into that world title picture, because otherwise, as you say, I don't know.
Yeah, but he also needs, before he goes into the world title picture, he would need at least 1 or 2 stories without a title. You have to. Yeah, I know.
Fine, but then
you can't keep doing Gunther treatment to people where they
never
put him on
friggin' Raw. Trade his ass to Raw.
Well, I won't lie. I don't know. See, the thing is now you have an interesting setup with your championships, because you have 2 champions right now that shouldn't lose. You have Jey Uso, who, if you want to make him a real main eventer,
he can't lose.
He needs that title for at least 4 to 6 months. I'm leaning more to 6. And those have to be good title defenses. If you do 4 months, you have to put more title defenses in there.
One of them has to be Roman.
Yeah. And
just
because I agree. But then on the other side, you have Cena, and you're like, well, he's clearly going to hold the belt probably until closer to the end of the year, because that's when he's going to be done.
No, you only have 27 dates left.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
You're going to stretch 27 dates out for the whole fucking year?
Yo, dude.
That's nasty.
Well, think about it, because he's who remember, one of his promos said, I'm going to take this belt, I'm going to go home with it. So I won't be surprised if he
pulls like Brock Lesnar, like, oh, remember when Brock Lesnar did that?
I mean, so did technically
Roman, yes, but that was part of the story to a point where you're like, I hate him, and like you would just accept it. because he would come out, but he would come out for every Friday night and then just say some kind of promo, and there'd be mad funny stuff in there, or whatever. These John Cena shits are gonna get old super fast.
Well, that's it. So I think there's gonna be a period of time where he's gonna be like, I think he's gonna have basically 2 months of I beat the people you put in front of me. None of the rest of you are worth it, so I'm gonna go home until you guys find someone who's actually gonna challenge me.
Am I the only one that thinks Randy should have been the last one to beat him for it?
That's why I don't know why he's the first person to fight him.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of like, wait, hold on. What'd you guys just do here?
Because in my mind, he's the last guy because you are now 17. Randy will become 15, I think, if he beats you. Yes. He only has to win 2 more titles to tie you 3 more in 2 seconds, and then 3 more to, surpass you. So, anyways, go on.
I've got an angle for that.
Go for it. Hit us.
Randy Orton comes back as the Legend Killer.
Oh, see?
Because now Cena is the legend.
Oh my god!
Because he has the most title wins, and then Randy is like, "I have to come back for you, Cena, because you're a legend now. We can't have you running around here anymore."
Why are we writing better stories? This should happen 6
months. Legend Killer. The thing. Hold. Okay.
I mean, even though Randy Orton wasn't successful.
No, but that was beautiful because Legend Killer was heel. So in order for that to work, Cena through this run at some point has to go.
He's going to.
You think so?
There's no way. This is my humble opinion. He's going to be heel all the way to the end because there's no way. It's like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair. Ric Flair was the dirtiest person in the game. The last match he had in WWE, which was against Shawn Michaels, he was technically the face.
Yeah.
You're not sending, and out of all people, you're telling me the only way John Cena is still heel at the end of this run is for one distinct reason only. And I hate to hurt everyone's feelings about this.
Tell me.
It's because he's probably fed up of doing Make-A-Wish stuff, which is, although very nice of him, and I do think there's a responsibility with entertainers.
John Cena's on some fuck them kids shit.
Well, like what? Dude, he doesn't want to be a parent, and at the same time, he's broken world records.
True. He doesn't want to be a parent. Wow, he's on that fuck them kids shit.
He's done all this Make-A-Wish stuff because he loves children. It's not that he doesn't love them. He doesn't want to be a kid. He doesn't want to have a kid. So what? You're gonna tell when he retires that he wants to deal with kids still? No.
Wow.
Just putting it out.
Wow.
I think my favorite
FTK stuff.
Have you seen that clip where this dad's recording his son watching the Cena Rhodes match from WrestleMania, and then it happens and the son gets super pissed and he's like,
change it.
He's like, screw this. And then his little brother's like maybe 2-3 years old, and he's like, yeah, that sucks. He starts kicking over stuff. He starts flipping over stuff. Like, stinks. He starts getting mad with his brother.
He's gonna have to turn near the end of it. And
to who?
That's the thing.
Who's gonna make him change?
I honestly, I don't know how they're gonna do it because the thing is this: if Cody wins the belt back from Cena, I will say this: boo this man.
No, Cody's going to Raw. Listen, Cody's gonna go to Raw. He's gonna beat Seth Rollins' ass, and he's gonna get that World Heavyweight title because probably that's the title his dad actually wanted, because it's a World Heavyweight title and not this undisputed WWE. It's not. Listen,
the dad wanted the title of the company, and that is the title of the company because it was around Roman's waist.
It's an ugly belt. And they never changed it, and they should have changed it to the friggin' winged eagle.
Yes,
and I don't know why they didn't do that.
Winged eagle, that's the blessed winged eagle.
I don't know why they didn't do that dumb shit. I don't know why they didn't make Cody the mastermind behind all this shit, make him heel, and then the Cena shit would have made sense.
And then
all the Kevin shit would have made sense.
Yeah, and on his neck. What are you doing?
They could have done all to say, whoever is, I can write better than you guys, and I'm doing this off the dome. Like I'm freestyling with my friends here, and it's better than yours. So
I'm telling you right now, the concept that we came up with, that Legend Killer thing, they
really is pretty hard.
They fucked up. I'm giving complete credit to Wendell there. Yeah. That was a fucking really downtown.
That was a 3-pointer.
You went to like the next stadium over and took a shot and got it.
All you have to do is just Randy Orton just he'll show up he won't be in the match. He'll just, oh, is that Randy Orton in the background? I don't see him. He's just slithering.
Yo, but no, hold on, wait. No, because if he does that, does he come back with the friggin' music too? That friggin' obnoxious. You remember his first music?
No, I don't know about the first one.
No, the first music was the Legend Killer music. Dave, you know what I'm talking about.
He should come with a remixed version, a new.
I'm down with that because I'm tired of this Viper and stupid song. I'm tired of it.
You don't like
Voices in my head.
I'm tired of it. And I hate the singing. I'm cool with the crowd singing, but the voices song, when they start singing, I was like, all y'all are stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You guys
that's a good pop though, man. Like you walk out and everyone's singing your tune. That's pretty awesome. And he just has to. Yes, I've been here before. Yes.
I think it goes. What's it called? Randy Orton. Then it's Seth Rollins. Then it's Chris Jericho, because only Chris Jericho is the man who wrote the song with his band.
Yeah.
Had it
Judas.
played. Yes, and when he was once forced to go out in the story, his opponent, I think it was when he was against MJF. MJF was like, I'm taking everything away from you. You're not allowed to have your music when you come out at the pay-per-view. And when he walked out, when they said Chris Jericho, everyone started singing before he came out, as if he was coming out to his music on time.
Yes.
Like the whole thing. And I was there, I'm like, that is hard. That is hard.
That's cool.
That's fandom.
Cool.
That's
fandom. Yeah. All right.
So he's always, in my mind, that's the levels you got. Because for Cody, it's only whoa, but like the other ones I was saying that they
because that shit is that song is just mumbling. Cody's song is just something, Cody Rouse. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares about what that song says.
The culture,
whatever.
Let's shoot the word in kingdom.
Yeah, the guy said some spoken word at the beginning of his song. Nobody cares, bro.
That's funny.
That's it. They're just like, just do the part. Whoa, and that's it. You can skip it after that. You can skip it right after that song.
That's like that bit. That's like that bit in Mr. Bean where he's in church and it's like, okay, we're gonna sing the song Hallelujah. He only knows the Hallelujah part. Yeah.
This is my part.
What about Joe Hendry coming out for Randy Orton?
Hell yeah!
I thought that was great. The only thing I didn't like about it.
He wasn't going to win.
That was fine that he wasn't going to win.
You got a slam on him. You got one slam. I was like, okay, you didn't go out hard. It was a squash, complete squash.
Well, that's the thing. It was borderline squash.
It was borderline squash. It wasn't complete squash.
It was pretty squashalicious.
This is what we think of you, TNA.
But that's it. That's the thing I didn't like, because if it was an actual match. And if it was an actual match and he thought he was getting the upper hand, and then the same finish would have happened, like let's say he beat him up, like he really beat him up, and then he's like, oh, he's nothing, and then did the thing and turned around and got cuttered.
And then out of nowhere, that was so good.
Yeah, like they did, like I liked what I saw. It was just the
match could have been
a
bit more extended, a bit more whoa, like Randy Orton was like, whoa, like he's underestimating the dude. Yeah. And the dude's kind of coming at him really strong, and he's like, "No, I gotta."
They fucked up not putting in Nick Aldis. Who gives a damn about Joe Hendry? I like him, but
I think it's more of a
there's a lot of people give a damn about.
No, it is a hardcore people that love. Yes, I love
people dressed up as him.
I know people love Joe Hendry. I've
seen Joe Hendry live. He's pretty good, bro.
He is great.
I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan of his, but I give him creds.
I give it to him. I care. I understand. I like Joe Hendry. I'm saying, but see,
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yes, I can believe in him too, and I understand. But my little pet peeve on guys whose gimmick rely on camera tricks. If I'm live and I see you just stop midpoint and turn around and look at the crowd, my nigga, what the fuck are you doing? Focus on who you're fighting. It's just stick. I get it. But then on SmackDown the week before, let me finish.
So then what about this?
No, I'll let him finish. Let him finish.
SmackDown the week before, they literally set up a Nick Aldis Randy Orton match within 5 minutes because he's like, Nick Aldis, give me what I want. He's like, dude, I don't like my man. He left with the neck broken. I can't really just have him unbreak his neck. He's like, I'm gonna RKO you, and then like Nick Aldis is like, fam, do you know who I am? and he's just calm and timid, like trying not to beat Randy's ass. And everybody knows Nick Aldis from wrestling. He was it's gonna bother me too. Oh my Magnus.
Yeah.
He was Magnus, and then
he was Nick Aldis for a long time,
right?
But my answer is this simple: if
the guy is younger than me, he can go.
The day you pull the trigger on Nick Aldis, I think people will want him to wrestle all the time. Like I'll even say
this could have been just a tease. Like this could have been just like I'm back, and then like he gets his ass beat, and he's still rusty.
But I think it was that was a test of the water in general of like reaction. But I'll stick to what I said before in the sense that like Nick Aldis, if he gets in the ring, he's going to have a moment to show everyone how good he is. There's a reason why NWA is now popular. There's a reason why NWA has top talent, better talent now. It's all because of Nick Aldis.
Oh,
Nick Aldis is the one who I'm not saying he put it completely on the map. I'm not saying he's like they're competing with AEW or anything. But before, you never heard of NWA.
Yeah, never.
You Billy Corgan owned it. You're like, congratulations, you're such a smashing pumpkin. You know, but like, what does that mean for wrestling?
No.
So if he were to go in the ring, I also feel it'd be like, you know, because I don't know why he stopped wrestling. Because from as far as I know, he's not had any major injuries or whatever.
He's 2 years younger than me, man.
Yeah, so because like Adam Pearce was a wrestler, but he literally couldn't. He was not physically capable to do it anymore. And I say this with respect to Adam Pearce because I do think he does a good job on Raw. He was not the Nick Aldis of wherever he was.
Nah, he wasn't wrestling like that. Like he wasn't.
You know what I mean? He wasn't going in suit. Like that's the other thing. Nick Aldis was also one of the first people to be like, "I'm on the independent scene. I'm a millionaire because I'm on the independent scene." Because that's how good he was, right? So I think him going into the ring at WrestleMania would have been like, if you're pulling this, he's not going to be able to go back to being a general manager. People won't believe it.
Suits up, beat your ass, come back.
Because then when people are giving him shit, why isn't he just kicking their ass every week?
I did see a video. I don't know who the guy was, but I think they were talking about that match in WrestleMania with Joe Hendry and Randy Orton. And I think there was supposed to be somebody else coming out there that they had booked, but then they called. They kind of changed it last minute, and then they put in Joe Hendry, excuse me.
Yeah, because the only, like I said, the only thing I think that was disappointing about that match was the duration, and the only reason why another reason why I think it was short is that I know at WrestleMania that you have matches that have a tendency to go over, and obviously they happen usually way before the main event, so like around halfway through the show, they start cutting other people's times because they're like, we need to give the main event a certain amount of time because we can't mess that up. And I think that was maybe one of those things where they're like, we can make this in 5 minutes. Joe, you'll still get because let's also be honest, Joe Hendry is basically WWE bound the second his contract with TNA is up, I feel.
So nasty how they do that though.
Oh yeah.
Bells and whistles, all that. Look what they did with Jordan Grace. My God, these niggas, man.
Because they even apparently what Triple H told Joe Hendry, because I was like, I think I read it or I heard it from him. He said, like, when he went out there, he's like, just go out there and have fun because this is not gonna be your only WrestleMania, but it will be the least like
remembered.
Important, right? Like it's not like he's going out there for a title. Or something like that. Yeah. You're not doing it. It's not a.
I know, but this is so nasty.
No, but he didn't say it that way. He said it in a better way. I'm paraphrasing it, right? Mm-hmm. But he's like, this is the one that you could have the most fun with because you're filling in for somebody. It's obvious that, like, and he didn't say this part. He's like,
you're not winning.
You're not winning against your first day on the job at WrestleMania. You're not beating Randy Orton. That's not happy. That doesn't sound.
You're not beating Mr. Out of Nowhere.
It's slightly believable only because you're the TNA champion and stuff, but it's still a fucking stretch to think that that's going to happen. All right? Because for sure, I think Randy was going to win over Kevin. Because I had a sneaking suspicion that their match was going to end, that Randy was going to really hurt Kevin so he could be injured so he could actually do all the things that he's doing now.
I just find it funny how, like, WWE doesn't put over nobody. Like every TNA NXT match has happened.
WCW, WCW, that Sting match.
Yeah,
Sting's
like
the one.
they have a partnership with NXT. Every time they've matched up, NXT has won. Every time. No, sorry. Except for when the women are facing the TNA champions, they lose, and obviously so on. But like,
yeah, the Hardys won over the Hardys.
over Fraxium, yeah, okay. So they'll give it to. It's just, I guess they just won't trade titles, but like at some point they're gonna have to give it up.
Well, that's the thing. Because, like, example, I remember a while ago they had a Moose versus
Obafemi
Obafemi
title versus, but it was only for
No, initially it was title versus title because
yeah, right, okay,
title versus title.
And then they quickly changed
they went up to them like, "Whoa, Nelly,
you need to shut the hell up, boy. We didn't say nothing about that."
Yeah, because we can't take away their title, and they're now expected to take ours.
Our title?
That's a bad idea.
No,
that's a bad idea. And the thing that sucked about that is, I actually would have been super down for Moose to fucking. If Moose would have walked away NXT champion that night, I would have not.
Yeah, because Moose is out here being X Division champion. I'm like, isn't that for like 205 Live, motherfucker?
No,
like,
no.
Why is this big behemoth man fighting these friggin' lightweights? Yeah,
I wanna run.
How do you hurricane run a brick wall? Like you can't.
Okay, no,
I'm stuck on the wall.
Wait,
you literally do this. Just fall down.
No. X Division always been about style, not weight. I can prove it right. I will run and get my best of X Division matches.
Yo, man, no. Moose inspired it.
Samoa Joe held that title for like 2 years or something. Yeah, exactly. So you can't roll me when it comes to the fact that Moose has it.
Yeah, but I don't think those two guys, Moose and Samoa Joe, are gonna do like a crazy backflip because
is this because
does a really good clothesline.
To be honest, it's only because of AJ Styles. AJ Styles made the X Division Championship what it is, and then now I associate it with high flyers. And I'm not trying to see these friggin' Alex Hammerstein big ass Brock Lesnar niggas or can't take down these like it's just crazy.
Dude, Abyss was champion.
Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I want to reiterate that it's not about weight.
I am not a TNA. I'm getting into TNA.
Kurt Angle was champion.
That is Perk Angle. You mean Perk Angle at the time?
Yeah. Well, that's because it was him versus Joe for all the titles.
Maybe all the titles.
So,
they only have the championship and the X Division.
You ask the question, you don't even give me 2 seconds.
Sorry, I'm just saying they only have the two, right?
So, if I'm not mistaken, Kurt Angle had the heavyweight. Samoa Joe had the X Division. Yes. Kurt Angle had another heavyweight title at the time. It was like a Japan title, and I'm pretty sure Joe had the tag titles.
By himself,
he had them himself. Like it was a weird thing where I want to. You know what? Hold on.
TNA. What?
Versus?
Yeah, it was just Joe by himself, wrecking everybody.
Well, it's because I want to remember how he got it. Joe won the tag titles in a tag match against. Okay, so that's what it was. He didn't have it on his own. They were in a match and they won the tag titles
together.
So it was like, if you won, you took everything, and I'm gonna choose my partner because fuck you.
Like in Delirious, where the black dude ran as a joke and he won. He fucking won. Like that kind of shit. we fucking won. We weren't supposed to win these titles. I hate you. No,
that's a good story. That's a good angle.
WWE wouldn't dare do that. You guys that hate each other winning the tag titles,
and they won the tag titles against Team 3D, aka the
Dudley Boys. Wow.
I'm telling you, if you ever want, we've gone on so much wrestling tangents.
This is the wrestling episode, apparently.
But I'm telling you, like, circa roughly, like, I'll say when people were there, because I don't know the.
I know Chris Sabin was champ like mad times.
But when Christian Cage joined TNA, the way until Christian joined, then Sting joined, Team 3D was there, and then Kurt Angle was there.
So main event Mafia times.
Right before, I would say the best Impact Wrestling
was right before main event Mafia.
Would be right before main event, and it started circa where Christian Cage came in. But there are
it's the first time he came.
The first time he came,
We became like the peak where he became Christian Cage and then brought it back over.
Because he was Christian Cage, and he was Christian Cage. If I'm not mistaken, he was affiliated with Tomko and AJ Styles at the time, and they were the tag champs together. Like Tomko and AJ Styles were actually amazing tag. I
don't know Tomko. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Tomko, I bless his soul. I believe he passed away, but he was in WWE for a very short period of time, and then he went to TNA. There is obviously some great early TNA stuff. Like example, one of the best, I dare say, the best wrestling match. I'm not going to say about story or anything like that, but one of the best, arguably one of the best wrestling matches ever.
Oh, I know Tomko.
Is AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels for the title, for the X Division title. That is one of the most. I'll say it this way: it's the most rewatchable match ever. It's not just because you like TNA. It's one of the best ever. Like I won't. You could argue there's plenty of other matches. You could argue that's one of the better matches. There's Iron Man matches with Bret Hart and a bunch of Bret Hart's category. Bret Hart versus Owen at WrestleMania 10 is a masterpiece, and his fights against Mr. Perfect are masterpieces and stuff. But like that was definitely one of the best matches. I would say that's one of the best matches in TNA history. Just like one of the best bloodbath matches in TNA history is James Storm versus something Harris. I forget his name. He eventually went to WWE and he fell in 2 seconds. I forget his
Husky Harris there.
No, it's not Husky Harris. It's that. Is it Husky Harris? I'm gonna double check.
Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt.
James Storm
Funkasaurus.
No.
Funkasaurus?
No.
Funkadactyls?
Stop embarrassing yourselves.
I'm sorry.
I remember seeing Tomko. I'm looking at him. Travis Tomko. Yeah, he had all these tattoos. Yeah.
Chris Harris is his name. Chris Harris. They were like called American something or other, and they were really an amazing tag team. But when they dissolved, they had one of the best. They had a cage match, and it was one of the bloodiest things I've ever seen in my life.
Look at these guys, huh? Wow. Wrestling.
And obviously TNA also created Beer Money, which Bobby Roode came from, and Bobby Roode is amazing. He comes from there.
Yep.
Motor City Machine Guns had a significant amount of their amazing matches in.
They were champs, like singles champs for a while too, weren't they? Both of them?
Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin have worn, I believe, every single title that you can
in TNA. Yeah, which is only
minus they have like some newer ones now. Like minus those. Like,
do they have newer titles? Because I know they have the X, they have the main, and then they tag.
Well, because when, like example, I don't think they ever had the digital championship. But for them, like if you were to say when they started, the belts you wanted was X Division, World, and Tag. Yeah, and they've had those ones countless times. But there's other belts as well. Like example, they had the Global / Legends Championship, but that lasted only so long, and then it was taken away. Like all sorts of things.
By the way, folks, if you want to catch up on TNA, there's a TNA channel on Samsung TV Plus and Pluto that I watch. All the old matches play, and you're just like, wow, this is some ragtag WCW-ish type wrestling, but it's not as cheap. Like it has like a kind of budget.
And the 6-sided ring. That you know what? That's one thing.
That era is wild. I can't move that. I can't.
6-sided ring.
No, because when these guys start running the ropes, it's like it's so short. What are you doing? Chill out. Like it's just like boom,
crazy.
Boom. No,
because it's so fast.
It's an octagon. It's just like
when there's like a few people running the ropes at the same time and they're just barely missing each other, kind of thing.
But, like, okay, you know when you see Braun Breaker do like 3 bounces off the rope to then spear you, it makes sense in that ring, and I think that's where he did that. If ever he's ever like, I know he probably never wrestled in an octagon ring, but I think he probably got that idea from watching TNA and said, "Hey, let me try this WWE," because the 3 sides only work that way. To do a double, like running for a spear, and the person is just standing there waiting for you to spear them, fam, I'm jumping out the way. It's like, I saw what you're doing. You think I'm gonna stand here that long? 1, 2, 3, spear. Fuck off.
I mean, if you're gonna argue this, then Shawn Michaels should have never hit Chinoosa because
no, okay.
How about this? Hooah!
True. If you're gonna,
we're gonna be real.
if you're just gonna straight up kick me in the face, sweet chin music, fine. The wind up every time I deserve to just counter your ass. Every time. That should have been a thing for Shawn Michaels, and he finally hit it on Ric Flair, and that was the one that put him away.
I've always hated when people do that. Like, example, when Edge used to do his spear, yes, he was in the corner like waiting for you, but he was quiet.
Yes.
You know, so when you got up,
Roman's all like, "Get up!
Get your ass up! You ready?
I don't want to get up. I just want to stay here. I want to stay down here. I don't want to get up."
They also need to stop giving a spear to someone who's not going to go extra. Like put it this way: Braun Breaker has a spear. He speared Carlito into an entire different country. Jey Uso needs to stop doing that now.
No. Carlito sold it so well. He went on his socials and said, "I am having a funeral for myself because I got hit with the spear so well. Please respect me and my family's privacy at our time of my death grieving, please."
Yeah. Ran right through him.
But I'm going to say something loud. The spear has to be black. The spear in WWE has to be now approved because I don't think everyone should have it. Just like
the splash, the super kick.
I was going to say for Jimmy and Jey Uso, sure you could use the super kick. But they should have you could only use it 3 times. No, you can only use it 3 times in a match
or a year.
Any more, you need permission. Because it's ridiculous. There's a kick, and you're like, yo, they're just if you have 2 other people on either side of them, they're just like, hiya.
You can blame Black and Gold NXT for that shit. So Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, all them niggas, you can blame them for that because they were super kicking the out of each other.
They were,
and literally the hip slapping, they stopped that shit because of those guys.
But they were also, when they were doing the kicking,
yes,
it wasn't I agree they were doing kicking with the slaps.
Yes,
but they weren't doing super Adam Cole. Yes, he has the super kick. A lot of other people did the slap. It wasn't necessarily a super kick.
You're just straight up kick in the face.
Or yeah.
How'd you get?
Get the hell out of here.
That's funny, man. Too crazy.
With that being said, does anyone have anything non-wrestling to bring up? Or are we signing out here?
I need to listen. I'm just saying, all y'all need to see Thunderbolts. I read a non.
Whoa! Wait.
Yeah.
Slow down, dude.
What type of God is that? Watch this movie because. And I'm like,
it's not even out yet. Watch it.
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
What? Shut up.
Just watch it. Just watch it because you're gonna be happy. That's all I'm gonna say. You're gonna be happy.
But why are you saying that? You read it? You saw it? How did you?
Well, you know what I do. Not just that, but there's also just
read a synopsis. No, you read a synopsis. That's what you did, right?
I read a synopsis. I spoiled it for myself, but I also listened to a New Rockstar's non-spoiler review of it, and I was just like, you know what? This sounds like it's a good, hearty film that's going to take notes from things that people were bitching about, and it's going to be the movie that I wanted to tease this summer instead of whatever the hell Deadpool 3 was.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to step back on that last comment. You're going to go hell a little bit. Deadpool 3 is a masterpiece.
It's not a masterpiece. You need to stop. It's not
a Deadpool movie. It is a Deadpool comic book.
Are we?
Say what you want.
Hold on.
It's equivalent to Sin City in regards to how much it's adapted to a comic book. I don't care what you say.
So what about Spider-Man, not No Way Home, the last one that came out?
No, that was No Way Home.
That was No Way Home?
Yeah,
sorry. So No Way Home, everyone's kind of having a rethink about it, or at least the internet's having a rethink about it, saying that it's not as good just because of the big reveal with all the different Spider-Men.
No, it's a good movie still. I'll give it that.
Some people are saying it's not good because if you rewatch it, it's just like boo.
My name's in that movie. It's forever good. That's it. My name's in the credit. It's good. Okay.
I looked out for that. It's true.
I'm not actually hating on that movie. No, that movie was good. It still holds up. Guardians 3 still holds up.
I still need to see Guardians 3. I kind of fell off with Marvel for a little bit, but not out of hate or anything. It's just like it's too much other stuff to watch. I did watch Sinners. Sinners is amazing. Go see it in the theater. Go see it in IMAX.
I'm trying to chill out on seeing Hot Guy talk all that crazy dirty talk with her mouth because listen, I'm catching clips on everything, and I'm gonna say that bitch was wiling. What she was her mouth.
Well, you know what's crazy? What's crazy? I was thinking to myself, man, what did I see her in? Oh yeah, she was in Bumblebee. What did I see her in before?
Oh yeah,
she was the little girl in True Grit. Holy crap!
And now she's telling talking to people. Yeah, come up indeed.
And what's she saying to people now?
Talk about people you stuck in your tongue and mouth, and yeah, all sorts of.
So she has history with one of the characters, and she calls him out super hard.
Many
But
times.
someone literally said, "Oh, this is some Miami shit."
Yep.
Oh, this is some Miami. Like you're walking down the street in Miami, and then you hear some girl cussing out a dude, and you're like, "Did I just
No,
hear
it's
that?"
some Spanish Miami shit. That's what that is. Because only Spanish girls don't talk to you like that. Talk about, oh yeah, you
But
did all
again,
this though.
But when you watch the movie, you know why they have
Yeah.
history. That there's very specific.
Awesome. You weren't saying that when you had your tongue in my ass type shit. Like it's wild, bro. Like you don't know why she's saying.
But what's even funnier than that is, remember Brian was saying in his review that the two cousins were talking, and the
Yeah.
cousin was giving him some game, and so the game real when some girl's cussing you out about the game you just talked about.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it comes back around. It's like he was not lying. It came right back around.
That's some shit though.
But it's a good movie. Watch it in the theater if you can. IMAX. It is worth it. Coogler put in a lot of work into this. Very personal story kind of thing. His uncle his family came from Mississippi Delta and stuff like that. And a bunch. What's the big dude Omar? He said his grandfather was a sharecropper, and his dad was born around that time when it was kind of phased out. And then the fact that he gets to play a sharecropper is like, wow, that's 3 generations he came out of it, and he's playing one. So so a lot of good stuff in that movie. Like really, like so good.
All right.
I'll go. Music's good too. Music's good too, man. Shit.
All right.
You put the foot all up in it.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right.
Wow.
You.
Wow. So Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
Out of that last thing, I think that's a good way to stop on that line.
Thunderbolts has just a very nice way of being the movie it is, and I need to go see it in theaters. I think that they handled what's his name very well. I believe so. Sentry.
Okay.
Everyone's already kind of figured it out. I didn't even know.
No, they didn't like it's not something that you need to like because it's they.
Yeah, a lot of people figured it out.
They just cut to the point. They just
I
mean, and like obviously we don't need to. This is not a spoiler at all. Contessa Val is basically Norman Osborn without Osborn, because they can't use it. So
right,
it better not be like a Black Widow 2 style type.
What do you mean?
I
don't remember that movie.
So that's why. So the thing I hated about Black Widow was like it was supposed to be. Well, sorry, I would have preferred it to be like a Jason Bourne type style movie.
Yes.
When you turned it into this weird dysfunctional family movie, I was like, this is stupid.
I don't know about this. Yeah,
really dumb. Like it's sad to say, John Wick, the spinoff of John Wick, the ballerina or whatever it's going to be.
The ballerina, yeah.
That's
a better Black Widow movie.
Black Widow movie. Like I'm going to buy it.
There's so many Black Widow movies. What was the one with
Nikita is a Black Widow movie.
But there was another one that's about what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence? The one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
There was another one with Jennifer Lawrence, and it's basically
the Hunger Games.
No, not the Hunger Games. She plays like
I know.
A girl that's like in kind of like a Black Widow program, and she has to like
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, yes.
Yeah.
I would be really down to know this movie because I like Jennifer Lawrence as an actress.
Lawrence.
Give me that one.
I'm going to
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow. Ain't nobody seen
Red
that movie.
Sparrow. That's the name of the movie.
That's the same amount of people that saw freaking Eon Flux. And what was that other movie?
but it's just like saying there's a lot of like oh man, and I hope they make a really good Punisher movie. It's like they already did. They're called Men on Fire. They're called this. They called that. They called every other Death Wish. Just called every other movie for the dude's revenge.
True. But, Punisher has to get real gritty with it. Which, by the way, I saw that PS2 Punisher game selling for like $300 the other day on Marketplace. Game. I have it. And I'm just like, why is people going so crazy over this game?
It's a good game. That's why. Because the part where you could... Oh,
you could torture people.
Screw that.
Yeah, but it's like the graphics are like doo-doo brown now. Like, so he's like, yeah, you could drill somebody in the head, but like
No,
it's just like
people
wild
are like, yo, I heard
pixelated.
this game is like a good Punisher game because you have that, and then you have the beat 'em up, and that's it. That's all you got for Punisher.
I have both of those games.
You have the
The
beat
Nick
the beat
Fury
'em up.
beat him up.
That
Yeah.
Nick Fury one is amazing.
Yeah, I have that
And I
shit.
think they've
And
just
that game's for
re-released
sure
it.
expensive as well.
They just re-released the Punisher, but because that used to be a arcade game, and I think
Yeah.
in one of the Capcom collections,
It's in the X-Men versus Street Fighter one.
yeah.
They put it in there, but I
Yeah.
just have it on my SNES Mini because getting
Well,
games
no,
on the
because
internet.
I think they
Yeah.
only ported it to Sega
Yeah,
Genesis.
talk
So
about that
if you have that cart, I'm sure it's like crazy money.
I don't have the card. I just have like a
I'm
digital
sure it's
copy. But
like crazy.
oh, guys, actually, fun fact before I go, there's a Predator game out there on Super Nintendo that's also beat 'em up style, just same way as.
No, Super Nintendo one's not. That's not a good one.
It's great.
It's not the arcade one.
Is that okay? So the arcade Predator beat 'em up game
Is the Capcom one
where you could have 3 different Punishers and some random human.
No. The arcade, the arcade Predator game has 2 different Predators, and then a girl who's supposed to be a cyborg, and then like not Arnold, but Arnold with the metal arm.
Yes,
that's the Capcom beat 'em up game. That's the good one. It has not been re-released. It has not been re-released because of the amount of licenses they have to kind of wrangle together to get that going.
I found that shit on my SNES Mini because I have games from the internet, and boy, does this game still hold up.
That game is really good, and there's combos and stuff like that. It's really good.
I was playing it with my buddy, and like Danielle was screaming at me, like, "Yo, can we put the kids to bed now?" Like, yeah, in a second. Punishing. Yeah, look at these things. Look at them go. Predating. Look at me go. Such a good game, man. Wow. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I'm probably gonna go play that right now, or sneak.
My only thing to add to that, and then I think we'll sign out, is every time there's a good game like that, Skinny, that's why it becomes expensive, because it's so rare that's the only good representation of it. Just like there's a Samurai Jack game that came out on Switch. I own it. It's literally, it's legit. You're playing like an alternate version. It's so for people who know the game, the movie or show, I should say, he eventually is going back in the past to go fight Aku. So you're basically fighting from there. Like, it's like a mini story that kind of happens between when he leaves the future and where he lands in the past.
Okay.
It's like there's a different story that happens where it's like him going through different versions of. It's like Aku making him relive his life, so to speak, in different versions.
Yeah.
And when you land, it's like, spoiler for those people, in the TV show, he lands and he sees his dad and he sees his village, and then he fights Aku. In this one, it's like when you're finished the game, you land exactly where he kills Aku. Like, they do a cutscene perfectly where, like, instead of seeing all the village, it's just him and I forget his girlfriend's name. It's escaping me at the moment. But those two, like, landing and when they kill Aku. But anyways, with that being said,
check out Predator Badlands when it comes out in November.
Any shout outs? I can't even say the words.
Go.
So that's Jawz. Is Skinny got anything?
No shout outs. Just check out the channel, Actually Figgy Skinny, here on YouTube, and check out my toy reviews. I got a Jack Kirby figure that I'm gonna do something really cool with.
No way.
It's a Turtles Jack Kirby fig, and I was just like, you know what, I need to own this because I'm gonna put him and Stan Lee in a photo together and have them fight. And it's gonna be the Turtles and other representation on one side, and all the characters they made together.
And like I normally say, check out Transformers Slag and the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
Yes.
All right, perfect. And until next week, keep it real and
have fun.
Peace.
Peace.